Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA, online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Saturday, August 15th, 2020, and it is 2:40 p.m. when I'm recording this episode. You can probably hear the air conditioner in the background because I'm up here in my studio at the Mountain House. It is almost 110 degrees out here. So I was gonna do one in the garden, but I was working in the garden. It was just so effing hot. I didn't want to stick headphones in my ears, and what I was doing out there is I have been growing vegetables. When this whole Corona thing started, Mick Cripps was getting me all scared that the grocery stores were going to be out of food and we're going to have to all be self-sufficient, I jumped right into that theory, and I started planting a bunch of vegetables. Well, I planted potatoes and I planted onions and collard greens and a bunch of stuff like that. Well, the potatoes and the onions were doing so well, and it was almost harvest time, and a family of gophers decided to come in and have a feast on my vegetables, and they destroyed nearly all the potatoes and nearly all of the onions. So I was out there today digging up the dirt and putting gopher wire down. So starting over with the potatoes and onions sucks, but I've never lived off the land before, so I'm learning as I go. and I forgot to say, yesterday I was going to go get my hunting license. Well, I went to renew my hunting license yesterday up at the store down the street because there's a guide owns this place, and he sells fishing supplies, and he sells hunting license and fishing licenses and stuff. And deer season for archery in this zone, which is B2 zone, open today. And so I went to renew my hunting license. Said I'll take a deer tag to you, because you have to have the deer tag in order to hunt deer. And she said, well, all the deer tags are sold out for this zone, so you can't get a deer tag because there's only a certain amount that they sell, that the Fish and Wildlife sells, because there's a quota, and the quota got reached. It sold out months ago, she said. So I do not get to hunt deer this year. Fortunately, I was able to get a bear tag. Archery season for bear opens today. I'm not confident enough to try to get so close to a bear to shoot it with a bow and arrow, but I did get a bear tag. That was $50, and I renewed my hunting license. September 12th. Well, hold on, I'm going to take a sip of the first sip of the beer of the day. There's no beer in the grocery store. No Tecate, no Modelo's, no Pacifico. So I am drinking Longboard Lager, which is just as good, and it's $1 cheaper for a 12-pack too. So let me take a sip of this fine Longboard Lager. First one of the day. So I got a bear tag. I'm not able to hunt deer this year. Squirrel opens September 12th, so I'm going to be back here. Anytime we walk the dogs now, I'm going to have my 22 rifle with me. I looked at the trail cam yesterday, and I saw on the street we saw a 6-point buck running up the hill. Not able to get that guy. Hopefully nobody else gets him either, so he'll be around next year, because I'll have tags next year. I'm going to get them as soon as they come available. But on the trail cam, I saw the bear. I saw a little spike buck on the trail cam. I put that on yesterday's Dog Days episode, which, by the way, I did 2 episodes yesterday. I put the deer one up on the Notes from the Mountain House. When we got back from going into town, I got a bunch of messages from people about Pete Way, and I looked at the messages. No, please don't tell me that Pete Way's dead. Please, please, please don't. Well, sure enough, he's dead. So I had to run up and do an emergency episode, and I apologize for I broke down and bawled like a little fucking pussy. But what are you going to do when he's my number one rock hero and I got sad? And I cried when Chrissy Amphlett died too. The next one I cry for will be Dan McCafferty. Hope he doesn't die anytime soon. I will probably bawl my eyes out just as hard for Dan McCafferty as I did for Pete Way. Rest in peace, Pete Way. You're up there with Paul Chapman. All right, I have an audio comment. Since I'm up here in the studio, up here at the Mountain House. It's nice and cool. I have the air conditioner on, and gonna go pick blackberries after this. The blackberries are in full force right now, and we've got a big supply. Brian is making blackberry wine. He made blackberry syrup, which is really delicious. And he made blackberry jam as well, which I have not had yet. And he's also making blackberry whiskey. All right, an audio comment from, I'm not sure who this is from, and I'm getting text messages too.
This is Shaun Drummond, your number one fan from the UK, with my reminiscences of the Monsters of Rock Festival.
Oh, good.
On Saturday the 17th.
Please keep the. Oh, my daughter is texting me. I just talked to my daughter too. She misses me very bad. She's in Hawaii. Hold on, I gotta text her back. Okay, she wants rollerblades for her birthday. They're having a spike, so they're getting ready to change the rules there. We were going to book a flight to Hawaii to see her. Now they're getting ready to change the rules again. Even though they locked everybody down, now they're having spikes again. I'm not going to get all political on this show, but I'm really pissed off that when they make these rules, people follow the rules. The numbers don't go down, so they make the rules harder, and it just doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not going to get into that too much. I'll save that for Mad at Dad. All I know is I haven't seen my daughter in a year, and I'm pissed off about it. All right, back to you. Rewind this. I forgot who sent me this. Hold on. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, Michael. This is Shaun Drummond, your number one fan from the UK.
Hey, Shaun.
With my reminiscences of the Monsters of Rock Festival.
Hold on. People are texting like crazy, and I got to turn. How do you turn this fucking shit off? If I get these dings, I apologize, friends. This is on the Mac Mini on the computer, and I gotta figure out how to if you know how to disable the messages application on the Mac, let me know, because I've never had that before. Back to you, Shaun.
Saturday the 17th of August, 1985.
Okay, who's this?
How you doing?
Monsters of Rock. 1985. Who played? I don't know who played. I think he's asked me a question too.
Monsters of Rock Festival on Saturday the 17th of August 1985. How you doing?
I'm super great. Couldn't be better. A little sad about Pete Way dying, but as our heroes die, there more and more die every year, so it's part of life. I did not expect that he would die in whatever kind of accident he got in. I'm assuming he was driving and got in a car crash. If that's the case, then he died the way Alan Collins died. I guess that's another pretty much of a rock and roll way to die. Car crash, drug overdose, or whatever.
Good, glad to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take you back to a very warm and sunny day in the Midlands of England, Castle Donnington Raceway in Derbyshire in the UK, and almost in the middle of England, for my first ever festival. 80,000 people at what is normally called Monsters of Rock, but ZZ Top had rechristened it ZZ Top Rockin' the Castle.
Okay.
It was a beautiful day. 5 or 6 bands who were, really on my radar, so I was really looking forward to it. Took my girlfriend, 80,000 other people there, ready to lap up the rock music. So first on the bill, Magnum. Sort of...
I don't know that band. They must be a UK band.
Blues rock band from the Midlands of England, from Birmingham. I love their first album, Chase the Dragon, and they just released another great album called Storyteller's Night. And they did a good job. They were good first up. First bands at a festival, pretty tricky job, but they did a good job, made a lot of effort. And for those who are into Magnum, some of the songs from the set list include On a Storyteller's Night,
I do not know these songs.
Dansons, Sacred Hour.
Shaun, don't send me some Magnum because that would just be wrong. But rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Please, thank you for.
And they finished with Kingdom of Madness. I think There's some reminiscences I've seen on the internet of the lead singer getting hit in a rather private area by a clump of mud, but I don't really remember that. I just remember them doing a decent job. Second up, a band from your neck of the woods, Rat. So they just launched Invasion.
Yeah, this was when Rat was at their peak, Invasion of Your
Privacy album, and they made a great effort. They did really well, but the PA let them down. And I think that led to Stephen Pearcey, their lead singer, being the sweariest man of the day as he kept being let down by his PA.
Hey,
Again,
this fucking PA, get it together, man. They should have brought their own sound man. They fucked up.
looking at the set list, some of the highlights was You Think You're Tough,
You think you're tough.
You're in Love, and obviously
You're in love.
Round and Round.
Round and round.
To pretty much close off their set. They tried hard but were beaten by the PA in the end.
Too bad.
For quite a poppy bill, what came next was a bit of a surprise. So we're talking 1985, and a band called Metallica came out, which who were very different to the rest of the bands on the bill. So this was my first.
That would have been. Would that have been much? Would that have been Master of Puppets? Would maybe before Master of Puppets, Kill 'Em All.
Exposure to thrash metal, and they just released their Ride the Lightning album.
Ride
and
the
they still
Lightning,
had
yeah.
Cliff Burton on bass. They really went for
Stole
it. I
the
mean,
show,
it
I'm
was
sure.
a sunny day, and as you know, at festivals, you can't use your lights or your any of your special effects in the middle of the day, but they really went for it. And I clearly remember Seek and Destroy being an absolute killer of a track. Not knowing much about them at the time, and them being so different from all the other bands on the bill, it was an interesting experience. But I think half the crowd had come for other things, and therefore there was a hail of bottles amongst the 80,000 people who'd obviously spent a bit of time drinking the local 2-litre plastic bottles of cider during the first two acts.
In the heat?
And had refilled said bottles with some bodily fluid. So
I think I might have heard that story about Metallica being belted with piss. I think I did.
I remember my girlfriend kneeling down and me sort of crouching over her as these 2-litre bottles of liquid went flying through the air. So quite an experience, and certainly one to remember from the festival. So Metallica caused a bit of a stir, but and looking at their set list, we've got songs such as Seek and Destroy, Creeping Death, Ride the Lightning, and Am I Evil, their cover of the Diamond Head song. So, they were in their youth, they were really kicking off and were pretty good. Now, what followed next was, as we got more poppy, was Bon Jovi. So Bon Jovi, I remember being full of beans, full of energy, and dressed very flamboyantly.
That must not have been Slippery When Wet, because if it was Slippery When Wet, they would have headlined and over ZZ Top.
And really referencing the big event that had happened a month earlier in the UK and in America, Live Aid.
Yeah.
So I remember John Bon Jovi talking about this being Heavy Rock's Live Aid.
Hey, this is Hard Rock's Live Aid.
She'd always wanted to play the UK and how he'd wished
We've always wanted to play the UK. We wish we'd have played Live Aid. This is John Bon Jovi. Why am I talking like feminine? I don't know.
Live Aid. They were still touting their first album, and they were about to release their second album, 48,000 Fahrenheit. So this was pre-Slippery When Wet, and they really hadn't grown to the huge behemoth we now know from the last 20 years. But Bon Jovi, pretty good. Key tracks, I really like Runaway and In and Out.
She's a little runaway.
Love. But they did about a 6 or 7 song set, and it was nice weather. They were poppy. It was good. Then we were on to the support act, the headliners, and for a UK audience, I think a lot of people were here specifically to see Marillion. So they came out on stage. They had been playing a lot of festivals over the last couple of years, but most importantly, they just released Misplaced Childhood, which was the album that has really been their most successful over the years.
Oh, that had the MTV hit, right?
Fish is the lead singer. They ran through all their back catalogue, and really their biggest hit had been Kaylee, and they played that, obviously.
Yeah. Marillion, virtually unknown in the United States except for that Kaylee song.
Misplaced Childhood Part 1. Lords of the Backstage was a great song at the start, and Script for a Jester's Tear. So a lot of the fans had obviously come to see Marillion and really enjoyed themselves. A couple of elements I remember from that part of the gig. Fish asked the whole crowd to squeeze in a bit at the side so he could take a photo for his mum with the crowd in the background. And unfortunately, the biggest cheer during the Marillion part of the concert was as the helicopter flew over with the ZZ Top Eliminator car slung beneath it, as the headliners were clearly heading into the arena. So I'm not sure whether Fish and Marillion were particularly...
They flew in inside the car. I'll bet you they acted like they were in the car. They probably had a stunt guy in the car, but that was a Van Halen. Either Van Halen stole that from ZZ Top, because this is in Noel Monk's book, but maybe ZZ Top stole it from Van Halen. That's probably more like it.
Pleased about that, but that got the biggest cheer. So yeah, the headliners for the day were ZZ Top, and they were excellent, really, really good.
Yeah.
Considering there was not a lot of special effects, not a lot of pyro, not a lot of lights.
Nope, they don't need it.
They just played their bluesy rock, and they were on the crest of a wave. A couple of years before, they'd released Eliminator.
Yeah.
It had gone double platinum, and they were clearly, absolutely at the top of their game. So, a pretty comprehensive set. They started with Got Me Under Pressure.
You got me under pressure.
I Got the Six.
Got the Six. I don't know.
Give Me All Your Lovin', another absolute.
Give me all your loving.
Favourite from Eliminator. Then Waiting for the Bus.
Have mercy. Oh, somebody's coming up here. Who's this? Somebody coming up to my office. I don't know.
Jesus Just Left Chicago.
Jesus Just Left Chicago. Is bound for New Orleans.
Then back to Eliminator for Sharp Dressed Man.
Every girl crazy.
10-Foot Pole.
Don't know that one.
TV Dinner.
Uh-huh.
Manic Mechanic.
Huh.
I heard it on the X.
Heard it. I heard it. I heard it on the X.
Due Tonight. Pearl Necklace.
You want a pearl necklace?
And it carries on. They were really treating us to their full repertoire at this stage. Cheap Sunglasses, and a medley of Arrested for Driving While Blind and Hit It, Quit It. Party on the Patio.
Have a party
Back
on the
to
patio.
Eliminator for Legs.
You got legs.
Tube Snake Boogie.
Tube Snake Boogie.
Can't Stop Rockin'. Jailhouse Rock, another cover. And they finished off with La Grey.
Jailhouse Rock is on Fandango.
And an excellent version of Tush. So they played, obviously, as it got dark, few lights, but largely it was down to the music, and they were really, really good. Now, for quite a poppy bill, I thought it was excellent, really enjoyed it. Like I say, it was my first festival, but I must have been into it because I've kept, for the last 35 years, both the program. I mean, who buys programs nowadays? You go and buy a T-shirt.
They sell
so
them,
as a callow 20-year-old, I was clearly didn't quite get it. But I've got the program and I've got the my ticket as well, which I've sent you a picture of attached to the email.
Yes, I'd have.
So I hope you enjoyed that review. I loved it. Probably haven't been to a better festival since. Been to a few gigs, and I think I sent you my review of the Motorhead gig, which was my first gig ever. So, it's great fun reminiscing. Please keep doing these show reviews. They're great fun to listen to.
Good.
Congratulations on 1,000 episodes. Keep going and stay frosty.
Stay frosty, friend. You too can leave me a show review from the past. I love these things. Please keep them coming. I got a few more that have come in, but I can use a lot more, friends. Please keep them coming. Send it to me. So what you do, I'm going to say it again. Think about a concert you went to in the past. Google it when it came to your town. Go on Setlist FM, look for that set, write the set list down, and send me, and try to remember the best you can, and send it to me. Record it on your phone, and then email it to me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Thank you, friends. All right, that's going to do it for day 12 of the Dog Days of Podcasting, where I attempt to do a show a day for the... Oh, wait a minute. No, day 12. Yesterday was day 12, so this is day 13. That's going to do it for day 13 of the Dog Days of Podcasting. Every day this month until September 2nd or 3rd or 4th or something like that. Please keep the donations coming. Thank you for the ones that you've sent me so far, friends. Because without your donations, I'm stumbling over my words now. I'm half drunk off a half a beer due to this heat. Now, I turned the AC off, so it's starting to cook in this studio up here. So I'm going to get the hell out of here. Thank you for listening, friends. Please keep the donations coming. Without your donations, this show would die horrible, putrid, stench-filled, getting into a life-threatening injury accident and dying, succumbing to those injuries kind of death. Rest in peace, Pete Way. I'm going to be on a UFO and Pete Way kick for quite a while now, so for the next several days probably until I get tired of it, I'm going to play UFO tunes or Pete Way tunes or Wasted tunes or Mog Way tunes or anything like that. Today I'm going to play something from No Place to Run. This is bass heavy. A lot of bass in this one. This is called Any Day. Thank you for listening, friends. rockandrollgeek.com is where you can find the show. You can find the show find me on Facebook. Find the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group on Facebook as well. You just got to answer 2 questions so that I know you're not a conspiracy theorist thinking that the COVID is not, or the Corova. I slipped and said COVID. That the Corova is a hoax. Where am I? Oh, find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. Find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek. Don't ask. I'll talk to you tomorrow with day 14, friends. Have a safe and happy Saturday. Up. The producer followed me up here, and he's got to go. Here's Any Day.
Seem to be so alone. How it feels is nothing new. We're only going through the motions, me and you. I'll go back home again. There's nothing left but empty rooms we're passing through, and it can't end for us too soon. Any day I've got to get up and go. I wanna tear all this down. Break away, every day seems so damn slow. I don't wanna be around. Now my baby sits and stares. The clock spins the hours away, and there's nothing left for you or I to say. Should be out having fun. How comes we don't anymore? But we've been through this too many times before. Kick off my coat now, put on my hat before I get too cynical.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.